Today on Am I the Butthole? Am I the butthole for asking, not insisting, that my BF switch meals with me when I don't like what I've ordered at a restaurant? I've been friends with my BF for years. Actually, together for now 3 months? He's the sweetest guy, and I know he's been seriously hurt in the past, and I'm so happy we're finally clicking after being flirt buddies since we were in med school. We're both 25 now. Whenever we go out to eat, he always orders the most basic thing. 99% of the time, it's a cheeseburger, plain, ketchup on the side, with honey mustard to dip his fries. He actually loves exotic food, but he says that the menus and making choices stresses him out, so he doesn't want to put thought into it. I love trying exotic things, and to me, that's the reason to go out to eat. To me, it's so exciting. My issue is, things always look and sound better than they turn out, and I decide I actually just want a burger, so I'll ask him if he'll switch with me, which he always does, and he never complains. Most of the time, he even says how good the food was. To me, it's a win for both of us if it gets him out of his comfort zone and we don't waste food. Last night, we both had to work really late, so we met up at a sports bar. They were having a calamari special, which sounded really good. He ordered a cheeseburger as usual. I wasn't feeling the calamari when it came out, so I had asked if he'd switch me. He said no. I asked him why not, and said I didn't want it to go to waste. He said, then you shouldn't have ducking ordered it. I was like, excuse me? He went into a tirade and said I treated him like a garbage disposal. He's a grown man and I'm being immature? Don't pin my crap on him, etc. I said it sounded like that was a rehearsed speech. He said maybe it was, since I insist on stealing his food every time we go somewhere. I started crying and he edited, said don't start that BS with me. Here, have both meals. And he got up and walked out. He hasn't called or texted me, and it's 6 a.m. And I honestly thought he would call to apologize by now. I called my sister and near quote, "You're an asshole for waking me up at 5:30, and he's going to see you as asking as insisting. That's really crappy of you to put pressure on him." And then she basically hung up. Since she said it, am I the butthole? Edit. He called and he didn't even let me get a word in. He said he needs a break and that he hasn't been happy in the first 3 months, then that the relationship isn't for him. I guess you all are proven correct and I am the butthole. A single butthole. Yes, you are the butthole. Like, come on, you're a grown woman. Just get what you want to eat. If you don't like it, order something else. You don't have to force your boyfriend to feed you his meal and make you eat whatever he got. Like, that's just super selfish. I'd say I'd give you like 1.5 out of 5 buttholes. That seems pretty reasonable.
Am I the butthole for leaving after being told to be quiet at dinner? The title probably makes it sound worse than it is, but I'm still conflicted. My boyfriend of almost a year invited me to dinner with his family. His mom, his dad, and his 16-year-old brother. Never met them prior to that. The only thing I knew about them is that they're conservative and Christians, but lovely people. And they were. I got along really well with them, before dinner. They were lovely and talkative. When it was time for dinner, my boyfriend's dad wanted to pray. After praying, he said something along the lines of,
"Let us dig, and let the food keep us quiet."
This is a pretty popular saying in my country, mostly told to young children in school. My understanding of this has always been that you shouldn't speak with food in your mouth, or be extremely loud at the table. I wouldn't say it's a cultural thing, though. I dug in, took a bite, it was fish soup. Absolutely delicious. And you know, like a good guest, I wanted to compliment the cook. This is delicious. Is it saffron? A perfect autumn soup. My boyfriend's brother looked surprised. My boyfriend's father hushed me. Big time. A really aggressive with a finger over his lips. And then he said again,
"Let the food keep us quiet."
I apologized because I thought I had accidentally spoken with food in my mouth or something. But a few minutes passed and nobody said a word. Super awkward and weird. Especially since they had been so talkative before. My boyfriend was also unusually quiet. After a few minutes, I was too weirded out and asked about their day and how nice it was that they invited me there. And his mother did the hush thing? So awkward. I think this is when it all clicked. No speaking at the table. Let the food keep us quiet. Really quiet. But this was a super awkward situation and I couldn't deal with that. Imagine sitting at a table with 5 people, everybody eating soup, looking dead serious. So I laughed. It just slipped out. Ended up being told off by boyfriend's parents that I was being disrespectful, and if I didn't respect how their household worked, I could eat alone in the kitchen. We were eating in like a separate dining room. So I thanked them for the food and left for the hotel that me and my boyfriend were staying at. My boyfriend later told me that that was a butthole move and that I should have just kept quiet or eat alone in the kitchen. I understand that their family has traditions and rules, but it was just so weird. I couldn't just take it anymore. Was I being a butthole though? Everyone down in the comments thinks that you're not the butthole, and I have to agree. They could have all warned you about their weird no talking rule, instead of insinuating it in some awkward way. And then they treat you like a child when you don't pick up on their aggressive hints to be quiet? Honestly, I think both your boyfriend and his parents deserve a bit of a butthole score. Your boyfriend deserves 1 out of 5 buttholes for not warning you or having your back throughout the whole situation. And his parents deserve 2 out of 5 buttholes for treating you like a child and just being rude. Am I the butthole for telling my wife that leaving her used pad in my brother's place was inappropriate? My wife and I were invited to my brother's 31st birthday. He's single and lives alone in his apartment. So, to give you a heads up, my wife and him don't get along so well. But they can be civil enough to sit at the same table. So, we went and had dinner and talked and everything was going well. No argument or nothing until my wife went to use the bathroom. Later, my brother went to use the bathroom and came back looking pissed. He kept giving me and my wife looks, but I didn't know what was going on, till he pulled me aside before we left and told me that my wife had left her used pad in his bathroom. I was shocked and didn't know what to say because this felt highly inappropriate. He said he didn't appreciate what my wife did and that it was a sign of disrespect towards him. I apologized profoundly and said I didn't know about it. He asked me to speak to her or she wouldn't be welcome in his place anymore. We got in the car and I asked my wife about it. She nonchalantly said that there was nothing wrong with what she did and that my brother was being ridiculous. I kinda flipped on her and told her that it was very inappropriate for her to leave her used pad in his place, even if it was the bathroom and in the trash can, because it made him feel uncomfortable. She yelled, asking what she was supposed to do, and I told her that she could have took it with her and threw it outside, not in his bathroom. That's my brother's place, and he told me how he felt about it. She yelled at me and called my brother an incel and me a butthole for getting in her face about it. She said she needed to use the bathroom, and it's not like that pad was visible since she dumped it in the trash can. At home, we still argued about it, and she kept calling me and my brother names. She's currently not speaking to me and is avoiding me entirely. Regardless, I feel like it's his place, and he gets to express what makes him feel uncomfortable in it. Edit. I can't give any info or expand on what was seen, but I can tell you that the trash can does not have a lid. It's not like one of those trash cans that have a lid on top and you can push it. What I want to emphasize on is the fact that, as guests, we should respect people's homes and not argue about what makes them feel uncomfortable. He said it made him feel uncomfortable, and that should, in my opinion, be acknowledged. Honestly, yeah, you're the butthole. Like, what is she supposed to do with it? Put it in her purse? Put a bloody pad in her pocket? Like, there's nowhere else to put it. It's in the trash can, where trash belongs. And like, is OP's brother really that ignorant? I don't know. It seems like he's kinda trying to find a reason to pick a fight with your wife. Anyways, your brother gets 2 out of 5 buttholes for being dumb and trying to pick a fight with your wife, and you get 2.5 out of 5 buttholes for also being dumb and not supporting your wife.
Am I the butthole for asking my friend to move a picture of him and his wife because it made my wife uncomfortable? Me and my wife, Dahlia, lost our apartment 2 months ago and moved in with mom temporarily. Issues began to arise between Dahlia and mom, and I had to ask a friend Anthony to let us move in until I get money to rent out. His wife was away visiting family and he agreed, but even there, some issues started to arise. FYI, Dahlia is very shy around Anthony. She grew up in a conservative home, and so it's understandable, but sometimes she can be a bit much. I admit that. For example, she freaked out when she accidentally drank from his glass. She also once made a fuss when he passed by the guest room and she was lying down and the door was open. Thankfully, Anthony has been super understanding and we were able to talk out some of these issues. Last night, Dahlia was passing the hall and noticed a framed picture of Anthony and his wife kissing hanging on the wall. She told me about it and said it made her feel uncomfortable. She asked if I could speak to Anthony about it, and he didn't take it well. He gave me a look when I spoke to him and said this was, quote, bonkers, because first of all, his wife put it there, and second of all, the picture holds sentimental meaning to him and his wife, and he argued this wasn't some explicit picture of them, just a normal wedding kiss? We started arguing, and he said it wasn't like it was hanging in the living room or a perfectly lit room. I asked him to be a little bit more considerate because it's not like I asked him to remove it completely. Just move it somewhere where Dahlia won't reach or keep it off the wall till we leave. He said that he was sorry but still refused. I explained how Dahlia was feeling and he said that again he was sorry that he could not move the picture. We argued some more and he said that it's his house, that I was being pushy and kind of too comfortable to make such a demand and be pushy still. This morning, Dahlia refused to even come out of the room until the picture is moved. Anthony is refusing, which is making it worse. Now I feel like I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. Yes, she might be overreacting, but I feel like this isn't as such a big ask as for Anthony to decline and turn down. If it were me, I'd go the extra mile to make sure my guests are comfortable. Anthony's been a friend of mine for 10 years. I wouldn't have asked to move in with him if I didn't have such a strong bond with him. He himself constantly talks about all the things and situations I helped him out with, and we're considered brothers. So first of all, I can see the reason why you're homeless in the first place, because you have no common sense. Jesus, you want the man to take down his wedding photo because it makes your wife feel uncomfortable in a guest situation? Jesus, no wonder your mother kicked you out. You guys are so entitled and stupid. 3 out of 5 buttholes for both of you because you guys are stupid. Oh my god, it hurts.